Hello and welcome back to the Hands-on IT podcast. I'm your host, Landon Miles, and as always, we're here to explore the world of IT and the lessons we can learn to become just a little bit smarter, more adaptive, and more resilient, not just in our work, but in life itself. This podcast is part of Automox's Autonomous IT Podcast Network, so be sure to subscribe to check out new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. So today's topic gets right to the heart of what I've been thinking about as we kick off another year: resilience and adaptability. We've all heard about how vital it is to build resilience in IT systems and workflows to deal with unexpected changes. But here's the thing: resilience isn't just about the tools and solutions we implement at work. It's also about how we as people build strength, flexibility, and adaptability into our own jobs and routines. So being resilient isn't just about surviving the tough stuff. It's about structuring your life and work in a way that makes you stronger, smarter, and more creative as you adapt to whatever comes your way. The same goes for adaptability. It's not about resisting change, but rolling with it and coming out ahead. Today, we're going to talk about 4 key pillars of resilience and adaptability. And these apply equally to your IT systems and to your daily life. So think of this as a New Year's reset for your brain if you want to, but these pillars are learn, create, document, and reflect. So if you're ready, get your notebook in hand, or at least your favorite note-taking app. If you don't have one of those, just throw the transcript from this podcast into your favorite LLM of choice and make some notes that way. It's 2025 after all. The first pillar of the unofficial hands-on IT guide to resiliency and adaptability is learning. When I say learning, I mean becoming a lifelong learner. Here's the thing: whether you're working in IT or any other field, the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. Technology evolves every day. It's a given. Yesterday it was all about cloud migrations, and today we're talking about AI governance and quantum computing, but who knows what tomorrow holds. But this doesn't mean you need to treat learning like a chore. Think of it as curiosity with a purpose. You don't need to master every topic out there. Just pick what aligns with your role or sparks your interest. Maybe you schedule time each week to mess around with a new tool, take a free online course, or read that tech blog that you've been bookmarking for weeks. Make it fun. Start with curiosity and follow it wherever it leads. Even outside of IT, learning builds adaptability. When you learn new skills, explore hobbies, or ask questions, you're training your brain to seek patterns and create solutions. The more you do, the easier it becomes to tackle challenges when they pop up at work or anywhere else. Take action this week. Be curious. Go down a Wikipedia rabbit hole. Start a book or try something new. Maybe just start with 5 minutes a day of learning something. That's it. So our second pillar is create. And no, I don't mean churn out PowerPoints like your job depends on it. But if that's what excites you, go for it. No judgment here. But the idea is deeper, leaving space for creativity. Creativity is essential, not just for designers or engineers, but for anyone in IT or tech. Building resilient solutions often requires creative problem solving. And sometimes you need to think outside the box or script, literally. But this applies to more than just work. Creativity can be personal fuel. Think about the last time you really got into a creative flow for anything. You might have been troubleshooting a quirky issue at work or tinkering with your smart home setup at home. That time you repurposed an old PC for a home server, that counts as creativity. Or maybe it's not even tech related. Maybe you fixed something or created something, cooked something, or solved a problem in a new way. That's creativity also. The point is, creativity connects you to why you do what you do, and it's adaptable. It can spark innovation, remind you of why you love your field, or just give you a mental break when work feels like it's on fire and not in a fun way. But here's my recommendation: schedule room to be creative. Find time to create something solely for the joy of it. You'll be amazed how much it opens your mind to new solutions. If you don't have a hobby that exercises those creative muscles, it's never too late to start. Legos, coloring, fixing things, whatever you want to do, just start. Now, the third pillar is document, and this one's important. Now, we've talked about this in previous podcasts, but mainly we're talking about it again because I'm really bad at this one. and still working on it. Documentation is like a safety net for both your systems and your future self. At work, it's about resilience, outlining the why and how behind what you're doing for the next person or you 6 months from now, when you don't remember a single detail about your project. It can be as basic as organizing notes, setting up a wiki, writing a markdown file, or just leaving comments in your code. Good documentation isn't just about processes, though. It's about telling a story, and that applies to your personal life too. Think about journaling or keeping track of ideas or taking screenshots or pictures of moments you want to revisit. Documentation creates clarity and connection. It forces you to slow down just long enough to make sense of what's happening. So personally, taking pictures, notes, creating lists about things you want to do is a great way to start, whether it's short notes on the content you consume, so books, podcasts, TV shows, movies, or even just screenshots of a restaurant you liked or want to try. These can be just as useful as the documentation you make for work. Things will change, things will break, and when they do, good documentation ensures that you and your team can realign faster. There's a famous saying that a dull pencil is better than the sharpest mind. To put that into the IT world, a few extra clicky clacks of a keyboard now saves you a lot of late night clicky clacks later. So start small. Find one thing you did this week that you think you're going to forget and write it down. Future you will say thanks. Now, finally, we have reflect. Reflection is the simplest and most powerful adaptability tool out there. Here's the thing. If you never stop to look around, how will you know where you're heading? Reflection is about taking a step back to assess what's working, what isn't, and where you want to go next. It applies to both your work and your personal life. And personally, I like to end my day by asking what I learned, something I messed up, and what I'm grateful for. Professionally, I'll look at projects and ask the simple question of what went well, where are the gaps, and what can we do better next time? You can start this practice anytime, but since we're at the start of a new year, you can start this practice anytime, but since we're at the start of a new year, why not start now? Reflection doesn't have to be formal. It's about mental space. Maybe for you, it's hanging out with a cup of coffee before work or replaying the last week in your mind. Or maybe you want to go full on charts and visuals. Again, you PowerPoint people, I'm not judging you. Whatever works. Reflection is about how you adapt. It's how you learn from both the tough challenges and the hidden wins. And when the unexpected hits, and it will, it's how you recalibrate. Take a moment this week, reflect, whether it's on a project that didn't go well, project that went really well, or just on setting some time aside to let your brain wander to big ideas about the future. So those are the 4 pillars of my unofficial guide. So what's your plan to build resiliency and adaptability this year? I'd love to hear it. Drop by LinkedIn, the Autobox community, or wherever else you find me online and tell me what you're working on. If this episode sparks something for you, maybe share it with a friend who might need it too. So as always, I'm Landon Miles. This is Hands on IT. Keep learning, stay curious, and never forget to leave a little room for creativity in your day. Thanks for listening.